Hi everybody, it's Gene Simmons, and you're not. This is Kiss My Collectibles podcast. What you do?
Click T when you want a t-shirt. Click T accessories too. Click T any way you want it now at clicktshop.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Kiss My Collectibles. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason Herndon, and with me, as always, is...
Nicholas Buckland, and with me, as always, is...
Joe Lalich, and with me, as always, apparently, is John Five.
Hello, kids.
Welcome back to the show again.
Guest
John.
contributor, we're psyched.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It's very nice to be here. I appreciate it.
The truth
We
is, we just
appreciate-
couldn't find anybody with that many fucking belt buckles.
That's
So there you go.
right. So this week on the show, we're going to talk about vintage coin-era Kiss belt buckles. Official and unofficial stuff. You probably can't see it. It's probably cropped out. Holy crap. It's probably
It actually
cropped
says-
out. Live harmless insects.
Oh. That's a good band name.
Yeah.
That was the box I was delivered to my parents in.
So, but sitting next to John on this large coffee table are 122 belt buckles, and Joe is so psyched.
Yeah,
He could not be more excited.
Wow, look
Look
at that.
folks.
it's gonna be a long night, kids.
I don't know. Yeah, for sure, John and Nicholas's headphones are going to die on this episode. I'm certain.
Yeah.
So
They're just gonna do it in fast forward, like this whole episode.
when I edit
They're
it,
like big beards.
that's hilarious.
It'd be awesome if we had a conveyor belt in front of John and we just had all the belt buckles just go by. Ding, 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 ding. Just, like, this one's from Mexico, 1981. This one's from... ding, 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 ding.
Oh, make that happen. So belt buckles, and but before that, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and Farmers Only, and all of that good stuff. No,
You say Twitter weird.
it's Twitter. I just said Twitter just to be a
Oh, okay.
a goofy.
Like
ass.
cocaine.
It's kind of like Eastern, right,
Cocaine.
Joe?
Yeah.
Eastern.
Cocaine or
Yeah.
No, seriously, follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, Kiss My Collectibles on Facebook, Kiss My Wax, Patreon, all of that good stuff. Like and subscribe to our channel, and buy some stuff over at Click T Shop. So, same thing every time.
There you go.
Joe's excited. So, all right, let's shall we show some new merchandise that's coming on the horizon, Nicholas?
Yeah, sure. Let's do New Confessions.
Confessions. New Confessions. New Confessions. Yeah.
It's so weird.
it's goofy as hell to do that.
It's a good song for New Confessions. It is a good song.
So what's a few things have come out this week. The first one is by Funko. We all know Funko for their pop vinyls that everyone either loves or can't stand those things. But they brought out the Demon Soda Can vinyl thing. So what looks like, as we'll show up here, is it looks like there's some new Kiss soda coming out, but it's actually just a toy in a can. One thing I'm not sure, I'm sure they've been released before from other things, is how does it open? I'm not sure. Are there two doors in the back of it, or does the top come off and is the thing only wide enough to come out the top? I don't really know enough about them other than they've just announced those.
I have no idea how to open these things, to be honest. How do I open it? I don't know if it opens from the bottom or the top. Uh-oh. Oh, I heard it pop a little bit. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, it opens from the top. So there's the lid. And then you have your figure. There is a thing down here, but I think that tells me, like, if it's a regular or a chase. So let's not look at that yet. Oh, they put bubble wrap around the figure inside. That's interesting. That's different. Guys, I think we got the chase. I'm pretty sure we got the chase figure. Right? Because this is what he's going to look like in regular life. Oh, I'm kind of sad I didn't get this one. I'm going to have to go back and get another one. The one that we got is an all gold figure. I'm pretty sure this is the chase.
Has anyone else seen the soda can versions of Pop Vinyl?
Until you just said that, I thought it was a can of soda, and they had a pop vinyl that went along with it. So
no,
I haven't
apparently, it's just a toy.
So that
I think so.
Figure is inside the can.
Somehow, yeah. So it's got to be quite small then. Yeah. I don't think it's actually soda.
I hope not.
Yeah. Or there is soda in there.
Just floating.
I don't feel so good.
Open it up 10 years later, it's completely disintegrated.
Yeah, it's all melted.
No, I had no idea.
What does everyone think? What does everyone think of this figure that you can now see? Just the actual figure itself. What do you think of that kind of cartoonish illustration?
I'm not a fan. I don't like it.
No?
It's something I wouldn't buy.
No.
Do you believe that, Joe?
I like it. I think it's cool.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Yeah, no.
The can. What?
I see Joe's just his nose is like.
That's why I always have to be straight on, so you can't ever see in perspective.
It's like this. It's like this.
Yeah. And his monitor just goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. My voice goes
I
up.
like the can artwork. I thought that's quite nice, but it's just the figure itself looks terrible. You know?
Yeah, I like the can artwork. If it looked more like, the artwork on the can, it'd be a lot better. He looks like I don't know, a crocodile or an alligator or something like that. I don't know. It's just with a big giant nose.
Kind of weird proportions. The whole thing is kind of weird to me. Yeah. I don't know, but hey, if it's your thing, it's your thing. Cool.
We are off to a great start.
Skip. The next thing I thought I'd show everyone was that there was this great brand new hockey jersey that you can see, USA everywhere, USA thing. And the thing that made me laugh most is the company doesn't ship to the US. So it comes out in Europe, and if you're American, you want an American thing, you can't get it. So I'm not too sure who the audience is there, but it's someone who doesn't live in the USA and wants to dress like they live in the USA. But I know maybe it's like there's people who go to New York and the people who actually live in New York probably don't walk around in "I love New York" T-shirts. It's like a souvenir kind of thing. But would either of you guys wear that?
No. No. I almost won't wear Kiss shirts at all. It's pretty odd. I know I have one on today, but it's very rare that
Does Jason know he's wearing one right now?
Look back at all
Kiss shirts during the day.
Look at all the other episodes. I almost never have a Kiss shirt on. But
well, the good thing with that shirt that Jason's wearing is you washed a few times and it's no longer a Kiss shirt. So it's
the black
a lovely black T-shirt.
Off to a roaring start, right, John?
Yeah.
I know how we'll get them to buy more merch. We'll have the T-shirt disintegrate when they wash it.
All right, so that's new confessions. That's all we got.
Boy, that might be the worst. Stuff. That might be the worst True Confessions segment ever.
I might have to edit that out.
The guy that does True Confessions is going to be like,
Oh Oh, me. Okay, all right. So, what's in the box is next, right?
It is.
I'm gonna open it.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
So
you guys should have a new a song for what's in the box.
If only we had a songwriter and a guitar player
Yeah, exactly.
the ability to record.
Nominated.
who could come up with lyrics on the spot.
Talking Jason, like how we make up lyrics. I always do have my guitar.
There
That's
you
right.
go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Make it up on the spot.
Hit me with a G, a
Let's
bouncy
turn
G.
it on.
Yeah.
A bouncy G. Hold on, let's see. Can you hear that or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely.
Or can you? Or you can't hear it?
It almost overrides your camera, the mic.
Let's see.
Oh, here we go.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Jay. Let's see. Jason, Joe, and Nicholas. What's in the fucking box?
There you go. Perfect.
That's not bad.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Jason, Joe, and Nicholas. What's in the fucking box? I'm gonna open it.
and you gotta hit that big last chord so we have a giant explosion like.
Yeah.
Bravo, that was good.
That's why I don't sing.
John, our lawyers are gonna send your lawyers some paperwork. We're gonna want you to fill that out in triplicate so we can use that now on the show every week.
That's funny.
Okay.
That's good.
I'll go first because the stuff that I got is, there's not a whole lot to it. But I believe this was put on sale a couple of months ago when the pandemic hit pretty hard. And, I was going to take it out of this package. How do I do that? And I think these were put on sale to kind of maybe even support... Yeah, to support the troops, or not the troops, the
frontline workers.
Say it.
Frontline workers.
The crew.
Oh, the crew.
They were selling these
folks.
things.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what this was for, but I bought it.
Yeah.
Unmasked
Oh, no.
pandemic mask.
Oh, yeah, Live Nation. Supports the Live Nation crew.
Those are actually
He won't
Jason's.
wear a Kiss shirt,
Yeah,
but he will wear a
It's hard to
mask.
say.
I never wear a Kiss stuff mask. Sure.
So, I'm gonna do the rest of the show like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure I don't infect anybody around me. So anyway, that came in finally. They were delayed for a little while, and
Jason, don't you actually just put your legs through that? Aren't those are new Kiss underpants, right?
That's right.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit also something else.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
The other thing I got, had been to. I guess there was a gentleman down in, I don't remember his name now, maybe Nicholas does, down in Australia that had reached out to both of us asking if we were interested in this, I guess probably 1980 Kiss Army fan club kit. And I think we showed this, and of course we'll probably have to discuss it again because, it's this kit, but it also it has a lot of the solo stuff in it, but it's Australian. It has all of this other Australian. So John and Nicholas, if y'all could, and maybe this isn't supposed to be part of it. Maybe this is just separate. But he had a bunch of random Australian kind of pieces that went along.
Yeah,
with
that's
it.
a cool piece.
Yeah.
That's got the Lane Cove address, is it? Rather than the New York address on the back, I'd imagine.
On
That's
the
Aussie one. On the back, where you send your
Of the
thing
folder,
into,
maybe?
It'd say
where you
Lane Cove
Oh.
rather than New York.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
yeah,
correct.
yeah,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah. So anyway, and it had a bunch of little, all sorts of little
Oh, nice.
pieces and stuff in it.
That's cool.
So
Oh, that's great.
You just dropped something.
I've dropped all
Oh,
kinds
that's
of
great. That's great. That's great. That's a cool piece. Yeah.
So I don't know what this What would this have?
Oh yeah, that came in
So
the
you can see-
Maybelline bags too.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Yeah,
And
I think
that
he
badge
had.
is also on the front cover of your letter too. If you have a look,
Right.
there's like a giveaway for it. See, on the Elder one, I think. Is it?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
the
yeah.
other one?
Yeah,
See,
absolutely.
they have a little thing at the bottom there.
It does. Okay. So anyway, he had lots of bits and pieces, and he was, needing to sell some stuff, and I made a deal with him. So, so I just got that a couple of days ago. So, and that's my what's in the box.
Nice.
Nicholas, I know John has a pretty awesome piece, so we'll let him go last.
Yeah, you can go last.
I've got nothing, so that lets me off the hook.
Joe's
so
got
Nicholas,
nothing.
You're up. Yep.
No. Okay, so basically, actually, let me move this around. So I've been collecting a lot of trade ads. So there's these magazines which you don't see much of around. I got a whole bunch of these, and it was called Phonograph magazine. Came out in the day. This one, Hungry Eyes. Eric Carmen on the front. So but they've all got like really cool sort of vintage trade ads on the back. Look at this great Bowie one.
Great.
And a great Elton John Blue Moves one. And I noticed that on the back of two of them had Kiss ones. So you've probably seen these before in Rolling Stone. But so the design's nothing new, but it was nice to get these ones slightly different from those magazines. So that was the back cover of both of those. So they're not. It's not like it's anything we haven't seen before, but I was glad to get that version in there. And then the next one was a really cool one from This is one from Holland, a Dutch magazine, and this had a really cool old one in it. If I can find what page it's on. I think it's a couple in. Yes, this had from 1975. Really old.
That's great.
Dress to Kill trade ad.
Very cool.
So that's really good.
That's so
running the
cool.
image in reverse. So that was a nice
That's
find.
great.
Because I'm dealing with a lot of Queen ads with a friend of mine who's collecting them all, he's then finding these old music papers and saying, hey, this one issue blah blah has got a Kiss ad in it. So he's just letting me know, and then I'm buying. This didn't even mention Kiss on the ad. So he's just telling me the numbers on them. So really cool.
And
finding all these.
Nicholas, you've been collecting a lot of those ads lately, huh? On past episodes,
Yeah.
like you have like a book and stuff of them.
Yeah, like I've got 3 volumes of a book of all trade ads. Collecting some Queen ones as well. But yeah, there's some great old Kiss ones that we're pulling out of the woodwork. So yeah, it's awesome.
That's awesome.
So that's what I got. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Nice.
Light it up,
Great.
John.
You're the one, John.
So I got I was talking about this on this show called Kiss My Collectibles, and somebody reached out to me, and that's the magic of doing these shows. I love it, and they sent me this fella.
Oh my god!
This Kiss Elder promo display from the Netherlands. But what's so cool about this is that this is from the original owner. So the story is, which this came right from the original owner, the guy from, he was this kid, and they were having this Kiss contest type of celebration of the Elder. And he went there, and he's, from the Netherlands. And him and his buddy went, and they had these, they were playing the new record, and then they did Kiss trivia and all sorts of stuff. And the guy has the flyer of this event as well. And I guess the prize was you won this, store display, and you won posters and albums and all that stuff. But this was one of the prizes, was this store display. And he sent me a picture of him and his buddy walking, down the street from the event with the store display in his arm. It's really neat. Wow. I love that original owner stuff.
Yeah, that's great. That's one of those pieces, I know we talk about it a lot on the show, but how many of those can even still exist on the planet? I mean, seriously.
I know, we all know Kiss collectors, but I think I know, let's see, 1, 2, I know 3 other people out of tons of people. So I just know 3 other people.
Yeah, that's such an from the Netherlands, a store display, not something that you could ever buy And you know, stores are just pitching that stuff left and right.
Oh,
and
yeah,
how many
yeah.
stores were even in the Netherlands that would have gotten that promo piece? So
Right.
yeah, that's
or even
crazy.
put it out. They don't even put out everything they receive either. Like if they haven't got
Right.
the space for it, they just would chuck it. It
Right.
would just get thrown out straight away, wouldn't it?
No, I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many store displays I threw away when I was managing record stores in the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah.
They would just the labels, they don't do it anymore, but they would inundate you with all kinds of promotional display stuff, bizarre things, and we'd
there
throw
was,
80% of it away.
There's a unmasked, elders creatures from the Netherlands. Hi, babe. Hi, ladies. You want to come and say hello? Where? It's on the computer. Just stick your head down here. They can't see
People in the computer.
you. There we go. Come
Hello.
on in.
Hello, hello.
You're on the air, so say hello.
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 Okay. You guys going to go do your thing? Yeah. All right.
Getting her out.
Yeah. All right. Good. Okay. Sorry about that. Hello. Alice. So, anyways, yeah.
That was the best part of the show, man.
Yeah, unmasked creatures and the elders. So all from the Netherlands. So it's pretty cool, those store displays.
Are those
how
the
many-
three? Are those three that we know of that exist? Are there others, or? And how many
I
of
think
them do you
that's,
have? Are you on the hunt? Do you have them all now?
From the Netherlands, I think that's all that they put out. I could be wrong. Nicholas, what do you think?
Well, I mean, then it just keeps continuing. So there's Lick It Up and there's Animalize and Asylum.
Whoa.
What are these? Who's this that you speak of? No, yeah. So it looks like from 1981 onwards they started doing them up until until Crazy Nights and that kind of era. So as we know, that Kiss was still quite popular in Europe in the 80s as well. So the companies would have kept making that kind of stuff. So,
luckily, I have to draw the line at after creatures.
Yes.
So this is good. Or that woman that just came in would divorce me.
I bet.
Yeah, because the stuff around you isn't enough.
Right.
If you get
draws
one
the line.
Lick It Up badge,
Yeah, right.
put one little badge of Lick It Up in your cabinet. It's like, this is it.
Right. In the big, you're right. In the big argument, I swear to God, if I see one non-makeup item in this house, that's it.
If I have to look at Gene Simmons' real mug in this house, it's over.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Is that a Hot in the Shade paperweight?
That's it.
There you go. I knew you had it. There you go.
It's actually holding paper down over here. So
Don't let your wife see that.
that's right.
He doesn't.
All right. So that's a great what's in the box, John.
Yeah, thanks.
Very
It's fun.
cool.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one. A real good one. So, all right. We'll
Holy
see you,
moly.
Joe. Holy moly. Let's talk about some belt buckles, shall we?
Buckle up, buckaroos.
This is that moment where they're putting the big harness on you in the roller coaster, and you're like, "Oh God, can I please get off?" And then it goes clink, and you're like, "Oh God, now I got to go on this ride." That was the moment.
And then
I
you're
just
going
had.
down the part, and you're like, "I hate this part."
That's right. No.
No, it's gonna be a great episode
Very cool. Yeah. So how do we want to do it?
because there's so much knowledge. There's so much information that I don't know or people don't know. That again, I say it every show. It's great when people interact and they talk about it in the comments and they say, well, I have this, or how about this, or how about that. That's what I love personally about the show, and it's all just great information.
It's always an amazing opportunity, too, for things to unearth themselves, Somebody will go, oh, I've got that one, but it's in the red, or it's, in purple, or whatever it is, And so now we have an opportunity to kind of do almost like an archaeological dig on this stuff. And or, not what you remember, but what do you actually physically have, That's a cool part about it as well.
Yeah, one thing that I've always been proud of about the show and there's not many, but one thing I've always been proud of.
Like
is,
bringing me on, that was a horrible
the
move.
best idea I ever had. So, but one thing I've always been proud of, and what John alluded to, was people definitely comment and discuss. And when we ask them, hey, list something down below, we get a ton of YouTube comments and a ton of people telling their stories. Like on the Unmasked Skipper Play, we probably had a dozen or more people tell the story about the first time they heard it and how much it meant to them.
Yeah.
Joe,
and then, I hear you bitching about another skipper play.
That's right.
Getting all that
Me
thing.
and the boys like shandy.
That's right.
We know what Joe's gonna say. Skip it. Skip it.
I still say they stink.
That's right. That's right. So how do we want to approach this? Do we? Do you have them in order, John? Are we going from earliest to latest, or are we just going to start talking?
You guys tell me. What
do you think?
Nicholas, what do you think? Or Jason? Or
So I know absolutely nothing about this part of Kiss collecting. So maybe let's talk about, do we know what the very first belt buckle was? Can we show an example of that? Maybe let's just start there. And then we all know that Pacifica was the company, right, that started producing these things. Were they the first company to get the license, or was there something before that? Do we?
Good question.
That's a great question. The earliest, who knows, if they were making them earlier in Mexico, or if they were, but the only official ones I know of are the Pacificas. But then there was the Masterworks, right? And then there was
Masterworks. Yeah.
Hollaback. Ain't no Hollaback girl.
He is in a music mood today.
He is.
Ain't no
Somebody get that man a
buckle.
guitar.
That's right.
And then the brass ones were also official.
Right.
And the
Nicholas says, or were they?
yeah, because they were in the order form.
Yeah,
They're just the logo ones. Yes, they were in the order form.
Yeah. So
three versions
here, let's see. It's so hard.
So do you want to
from
explain? I think the good thing to explain with the Pacifica ones that we all know is that some said Masterworks on the back, but they seem to be the same buckles, manufactured the same ways. I think in most cases.
Are they?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Or are they slightly different?
Well, let's take one whole step back. What the hell is a belt buckle? For anybody under a certain age, right? Who has ever?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I guess what's funny is they put out hundreds, tons of belt buckles, but they only put out one belt.
Sure.
And we don't even know if it's official.
That's right.
The belt.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right.
But the Masterwork, it is thinner. It's thinner than the.
So it's the same design, but
right,
basically,
yeah.
But yeah,
they're just a little thinner than the others, But they do have the little sticker on the back. God, it's so hard to see. So mine says 1977 on the back on that sumbitch. But so that's the little difference of the Masterworks, and then you get the what else was there? Oh, the Hollaback. Which one was that? I think that's this. Oh my God, it's so hard to see this. Right. It's like impossible to see.
Yeah, because it's stamped metal, right?
I think it's this. Yeah.
Do what, Joe?
Yeah.
It's stamped metal that's on the back, right?
Yes, for the most part, yes.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Stamped
tough.
metal.
You gotta get it.
The stamped approval of metal. Metal.
So
what's strange?
1976,
Yes. So
right.
Yeah, which is it's very odd because you see in the Rock and Roll Over order form, which is the first one that I'm pretty sure that's the first time they show up. So you start seeing that version and a prototype version of that version showing up in Rock and Roll Over order forms. Yet both of them say on the back 1977 Pacifica, but there are earlier ones with a label on the back, and I'm sure you have those, Johns, with a white printed label that say 1976, but it's not stamped in, is it? So you want to show those?
The,
1976 a coin.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything stamped on there?
This,
do you think?
Yes, there is.
This one is stamped 76. You're not going to be able to see it, but it's
you're gonna.
Yeah, it is stamped as well.
This is stamped 76.
Okay. So is it stamped a coin or just 1976?
Oh my God, this is so funny.
No,
it says there's a copyright symbol, and it says 1976, and then it says Pacifica MFG,
yeah,
and then it says LA Cal. Yep.
90245.
90245. Yep.
Yeah, that was my favorite TV show.
90245.
It was much better. 90210.
But yeah, this one is stamped. So
yeah, okay. So they were obviously the ones from the Rock and Roll Over form.
So we think this is first as far as official stuff goes. This and the Rock and Roll.
Well, they were both on the same form.
So what we're showing too for listeners is a predominantly black buckle, right, with like a prismatic kind of Kiss logo in silver with a black background, and then kind of most of the belt buckles are brass or kind of like a coppery kind of brass color, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And so you'll notice that the Rock and Roll Over and possibly the only other one is Destroyer and Love Gun are all that shape, whereas pretty much the rest of them are that shape. So that's the main difference. There's only 3 buckles in that shape officially.
Yeah, I don't know how we can describe that to people that are listening. So for people that are listening, watch this one on YouTube. But yeah, there's definitely a difference in shape.
So this one does say 1976. So I've got an earlier
Destroyer?
one. And now, there was no Destroyer form in the Destroyer order forms, but there was a form within the if anyone's got the tour book handy, the first version of the tour book has an order form on tour, which I'm not sure if that's on there. So that's 76.
Mine says 77.
Right. So there we go.
Well, see, now here's what's great about this show, Nicholas. This one is 76, okay? Just like you were holding up.
Yeah.
Right. Then, Jason, what you just held up, there's a different version of Destroyer, which is 77. And this one has a more gold tint to it.
Yes.
This one, the 76, looks way better. The 77 has more of a gold tint to it. So
overall, the whole photo itself, so it almost seems like it has like a little bit of a see-through quality or something to the actual image, and there's some of that buckle maybe coming through.
Right.
Yes, because the 76 version, there wasn't any kind of protection over it. Nicholas, if you can feel, you could really kind of mesh your buckle up pretty quick on that. But the 77 has like a nice kind of thick
shellac. Yes, it has a real big, real thick shellac on it. And in fact, if you see any of these dinged up, that shellac kind of can break off, can chip off pretty well.
I think that was because when they put him in the dryer back in the day, didn't the image came on?
Yeah.
Right now, all of our wives and girlfriends are going like this.
My wife isn't. She wouldn't watch this shit if you paid her $1 million.
But if they heard us, they'd be like...
As you can all imagine, that's the way my girlfriend always looks at me. Just always. Like what have I done? What has she done with her life?
Stuff, she goes, no.
That's right, yeah. She's just so disappointed in general.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
but then there are also the AMI, the variations. So if you can see that some bitch, I don't know if
you can see AMI, right in the center, John, a little to your right. There you go. Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, go to there. You go.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Those are
copyright AMI.
And then there's some with nothing, So it's just so there's some with AMI. There's some with not.
So wait, is that's not a Pacifica belt buckle? That's an AMI belt.
It is.
No,
No,
AMI is a coin management.
Oh, okay.
That's how
okay.
they wrote it, or Coin Management Incorporated, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's one of these that says AMI, and there's
Correct.
one that doesn't. That's what you're saying.
Correct.
Ah,
Yes,
dang.
correct.
That's why there's 122 belt buckles over there, because
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I've got this one, but no,
Right.
I only have one of them. I need another one of them.
Another one.
Right.
Yeah.
John's like,
Oh,
I've got one with
that's just-
AMI on it, and BMI on it, and CMI on it, and DMI on it.
But yeah, that's what is cool. But there are so many variations, like the boot belt buckle. You know, like
Right?
there's a gold, and then there's a silver, and then there's so many different variations. Like there's a ton of variations of the one with the bat wings. You know, there's one. Let's see what this one has. Not red eyes. So there's one
there's
with
all the
not
different
red
eyes.
eyes.
Wow.
Oh my gosh,
And-
really?
Yeah, it's terrible. And then there's one with red eyes.
Unbelievable.
And then there's one with AMI. It's really hard to see.
Yeah,
And then
it's
there's
written in
one
black
without
on the
AMI.
AMI one. Yeah.
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 I don't know if you could see it,
Mm.
but anyways,
Yeah,
so
can't
there's
tell.
multiple variations here.
So we know that there were some in order forms, right? Obviously.
Mhm.
Do we know how many? Let's not call those official, because they're obviously most of these that we're showing right now are official. I guess the question is, like a lot of these would have been purchased in, like dime stores, department stores. They might have been at carnivals. They would have been everywhere, right? So Pacifica or whoever their partner is just making tons of belt buckles just for sale everywhere. But how many of them do we know right offhand? Does anybody know right offhand? How many of them were just offered in order forms, and those are the ones that you could get there, like quote unquote officially from the band?
Well,
Do we remember?
see,
Do we know?
let's see.
Yeah. Well.
Two
I
on
mean,
rock
there
and
was.
roll over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was
the
there any else?
Destroyer one?
Then there was.
Yeah, but the destroyer.
It just depends whether they're on the order forms or not. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, why don't by the magic of editing right now, I'll screen grab every order form belt buckle that appears, so they'll come up right now. So these ones, as I'm talking, are the ones that came on the order forms, and everything else must have come from somewhere else, maybe stores.
Yeah.
John, do you have any
And-
sealed ones in any packets?
I don't like the sealed ones because I love sealed everything. But I don't like the sealed ones just because they were so it was just, I don't know, this like, it seems like a sealed one could be like $600 or $700, but you could get that backing card anywhere and just plop it on that backing card. And I just didn't, I just don't think that's very fair because it didn't say Kiss anywhere on it.
Right.
Or anything like that, so I don't really like the backing card ones, but that's why. So no, I never did the backing cards.
So I guess my point generally was there were a limited number of these that were made through the band, through order forms that you could actually order direct from the Kiss Corporation or Coin at the time, right?
Right.
And then the rest of these, like the boot, right, and like the Batwing. What are other examples of ones that we know for sure weren't in?
I'm
order
sure
forms?
that's not on. This
Yeah,
is my
so
one of my
something like
favorites.
that.
And then these two,
Right.
there's a silver and a gold.
Yep.
Right.
And
the boot was definitely not on a Kiss order form.
but
And you
we
can,
know
if it is, you can play the wrong song right now. But
Wrong.
is of all the buckles that were in order forms were the solo album. Yeah, I mean the Love Gun guys.
Yep.
yeah,
The Love Gun on the solo albums. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
Yeah, that's where I got confused. It was which is great. Which are my favorite? Now,
I think
which
those are
were-
killer too. Those are, if I were going to go out and get any of them, those would be the ones that I would. I just
Oh
think
my
those
God.
are so cool.
Now,
Yeah.
Do you know
John,
what? Do you know what? The only thing that bothers me about that is you got Gene that side with his autograph, Ace that side with the autograph, and Peter that side with the autograph.
Yeah.
And then suddenly comes Paul
Ridiculous.
on the other side, which annoys me. That they're not all uniform.
It annoys me too.
Yeah.
You're such a designer.
That's why I'm
Nicholas.
single. No.
Originally the promo versions of these the Love Gun buckles, Love Gun artwork buckles, they were yellow, like a gold.
A gold, yeah.
And
Do you have those?
I've only seen a picture from the ad when the Pacifica ad came. You just saw the what color they were before they made them. I don't know why they changed it because the gold looked really good.
Do we know if those were ever made, Nicholas?
They were.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about these?
No. I'm talking about
the Love Gun.
Yeah.
On the Pacifica ad, which we will find and show up here. There's a Pacifica ad that has all of these Love Gun solo album belt buckles on them, and they're a different mix of coloring, and they're like a gold kind of where the blue would be.
That ad.
Yeah, instead of blue, they were gold. They did make them, Jason. By the way,
they did make them.
Yes, they.
Wait, so you're saying the background on those they're gold instead of the blue behind the actual guys themselves?
Yes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are some out there, but I haven't had a chance at them. So, if anybody has them, just send Kiss My Collectibles a little message. But I guess real quick, we should just show for the kids at home, like which ones there were, just to go through them really quick while we're talking and yip-yapping. There was another version. There's a Pegasus.
Yes.
On the back of some of these.
Yeah. So
while you're talking, I'll just keep showing.
Let's talk about that. What is the significance of some of these that have the Pegasus on the back?
Now, what do you mean? An actual horse Pegasus?
Yeah.
Oh,
there we are.
It's
coming to focus now.
Yeah. I see. Mm-hmm.
And you'll see.
Have I got the Pegasus? I'm looking. See if I've got one. It's like finding the golden ticket.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah. See, John, do your see? Here's a good example. Here's Peter. Here's Ace. One has the Pegasus, and one doesn't.
And I do not know why that is.
Yeah, I don't either. So who knows the answer to that?
Yeah, who knows the answer to that? 'Cause we need to know.
Strid, are you watching? Why is that?
Yeah.
Am I showing is this stupid that I'm doing this? But it's good, because people might go, "Oh, I need that one," or "I need this."
Wait, now what's the difference between those two?
One is gold and one is silver.
I see. Yeah, very cool.
So, and then we just showed I think the most rare out of the Pacificas, I think would be
That's
this.
a tough one.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
I think I saw that one probably sell a couple of months ago, and I think it was probably in the $500 or $600 range.
Yeah.
It's a tough
really
one.
I'm such a sick collector. You know what I immediately do? Oh, that's the one I want. If I'm gonna get one, that's the one.
Yeah.
Which one? Destroyer?
No, the one that
the
one where you went. Oh, this is probably the rarest one.
Yeah,
my antenna.
That's the one you're gonna buy.
Are there two of these? There are two of that, isn't there?
Yeah,
Yes,
John
there
just showed
is
those. I thought those are really cool.
Oh, sorry, I must have missed it.
Yeah, there's a gold one.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see
That's
that
so
one.
cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they look great. I had them as a kid. It's funny because I love to talk to the guys about this stuff.
Right.
And, they see the merchandise and stuff. But what was cool about it is as I talk, I'm just going to finish showing the Pacificas. Peter was over here and he was looking at all the stuff, and the thing that he stopped and goes, "You know what I loved? I loved this," and he picked it up, the brass Kiss logo one.
Yeah,
he loved it, and he thought it was so great at that time, And just little things like that are cool.
Did he give any indication of why he liked that? Because generally speaking, that's probably my least favorite belt buckle, personally.
Yeah. Same thing with Steven Adler. He just thought it was so cool. Same thing with Steven Adler. He loves like that belt buckle for some reason. And it's just nostalgia, you know. It's just
yeah, it's something they remember.
That's all it is, you know.
Right. So that, you know, since you are such good friends with Peter, and Peter does come over to your place every now and then, and he has seen all that stuff, what does he think of all of that? Do you I mean, does he think it's silly? Does he think it's cool? Does he think
he thinks it's great? You know, he is you know, Ace is cool with it. He likes it. I think all of them really enjoy it. I don't talk to Paul about it much, but I do talk to Gene about it, and I'll ask. Did we lose Jason? Oh.
We just lost everybody for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but what's cool about it is that I'll call the guys and I'll say, "Hey, dude, what is the deal with this?" Peter just gave me a great story just last night. He goes, we were talking about Dynasty stuff, and he goes, you know, my lion heads. You know, I had multiple jumpsuits, and I had multiple boots, and I had multiple cuffs. But the lion heads were so big and heavy and stuff. I only had 2, and I hope he doesn't mind me telling this story, but he had nicknames for them. One was called Cheese, and one was called Burger. And the eyes were supposed to light up. So there's wires inside the heads, but they never worked. Wow. You know, just like little.
Yeah, I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
that's
just story, fun stories like that they'll walk around and talk about stuff, you know?
And again, it's so cool that stuff, 50 years on, come to light like that we as collectors, people who have followed this band since we're little kids, I mean, who'd ever guessed? I mean, I've never heard that they were nicknamed. I never knew that they were wired to light up. I mean, that stuff is just great, you know?
It's just fun, like, because it's stuff that, you know, they probably never talked about in interviews or anything like that. But, like, those 2 lion heads were called Cheeseburger.
It would be so cool to have one of the 4 original guys on any kind of show, I don't care where it's at, to talk about stuff that they don't ever get asked questions that they have never been asked before. Not, how did the band start? You know, what do you think about this record? Who played on what? None of that crap. Those are the kinds of questions. You know, nobody thinks to ask that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if Paul was on this show, I would go, hey, man, do you remember those giant green lion heads that Peter had on his shoulders? Now, who did the wiring for that?
Inquiring minds
you
really want to know.
Come out and
It's that he reaches over and goes to ting and it turns off.
Paul?
Right.
Paul? I lost Paul. That's great.
All right. The other 3 guys, we won't have Paul on and ask him questions about merchandise.
So, John, let's get just now that you've kind of broached the subject. Has there ever been anything that Gene saw in your stuff, or that you've talked to him about, that he goes, I don't remember that, or I don't have that, or where's that from?
Yeah, a lot of I don't have that, but like he'll have such, of course, rare stuff, and you're like, oh my God, you know, just phenomenal, you know, just of course phenomenal stuff. But I remember him saying it was Star Wars and Kiss, and that was it. And to me, just saying that, it took me back, because I remember everything was Star Wars and Kiss, and I was like, wow, that is so true. It just took me back. Just that sentence, what he said, just took me back being a little kid. But he also said they didn't even know about a lot of the stuff that got officially released. They just got released. Like, here's a bunch of pencils, or here's a bunch of pens, and you know, because they were just dealing with so many other things.
Right.
It's funny what I noticed when I was researching a lot of this stuff for the book as well is, you know, of course, you know, Star Wars and Kiss, but then when the merchandise really started to take off, you'd notice a line of products like, you know, lunch boxes or that, and it wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be Kiss, Led Zeppelin, Queen, all these other bands. It would always be, Kiss, Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy,
right.
Scooby-Doo. Like they seem, or Marvel, some kind of thing. So the things that were released in a range of the same product, obviously with different designs on them, their bedfellows weren't other bands, and that just shows you how differently they were thinking. There were other TV shows. There's far more Laverne and Shirley and Mork and Mindy stuff which matches the Kiss stuff than any other band stuff does.
Well, from a music entity standpoint, arguably maybe the Beatles beat them to the punch, but nobody was putting out that kind of merchandise at the time. I mean, they were really the forerunners of all this stuff, and people give Kiss so much grief over, all they do is merchandise, but everybody does it now. Every band, everybody does that stuff now. And they were doing it 50 years ago, 45 years ago, they were cranking this stuff out, which was, it just shows, if you weren't alive at the time, and John, you and I were, even at the age we are, we were young, really young at the time, but man, that band was everywhere. They were on everything. It was
especially in Detroit. It was everywhere. Yeah. It was everywhere you turned was Kiss. Because they were so big in Detroit.
Yeah, you couldn't escape it, And for people who weren't alive at the time, and even for us being so young, it just is incredible. Like what a phenomenon they were, and how quickly they became a phenomenon from this little club band, and there's all of a sudden they're on bed sheets and pajamas and clothing, and
which was brilliant. It was brilliant because to me, and to millions of other people, the music was so great. I love the music, and it's great music. The music will, outlive all of them, because it's wonderful music. But then on top of the great music, they had all this great merchandise,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was watching some clips the other day, and I'm constantly marveling at the fact that nobody will ever. They're the only four guys. Well, give or take 4 guys who will ever do that. They hit 4 lottery tickets. It's incredible.
Yeah, we're talking just about belt buckles today, and I don't know if we'll even get through all of them because that's just a perfect example of what we're talking about. There's just the belt buckles. There's a shit ton of them.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And I guess that's back to my original point, right? They were selling this stuff at carnivals and department stores and dime stores and all over toy stores. They were just, record stores everywhere was selling this stuff. And now it's kind of weird because if they came out with belt buckles today, they might be on kissonline.com or they might be licensed by one company, and it would be. But this stuff was just like disseminated everywhere, all over the place. Mm-hmm. So anyway, nice little distraction from belt buckles.
There was another official belt buckle in America called Midwestern.
Yes.
And were these 2 belt buckles, which you see now and again, but they're more of like a cowboy style, which is
it has like the rope around, kind of like the rope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so pretty neat.
But what's weird is the actual art in the inside.
These ones. The rope is around these ones, aren't they? A little rope.
Right.
It's a little bitty tiny. On those, John, it's
for
more
shorter
pronounced.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more pronounced there. You see that?
Yeah, it is. It's very and it's the same shape as
shorter Cowboys.
It is the same shape as the Destroyer and the Rock and Roll Over.
Right. Yeah. Now, are those official, or is that just some company? For sure.
Yeah,
okay.
Those. I don't know if they were officially made by Kiss. Probably not, but it was an American. It's a legitimate company, Midwestern, that sold tons of belt buckles. So they probably got a agreement from Kiss to do that, I would think.
Okay. All right. So
what do I?
How many? Can you count how many Pacifica belt buckles there are?
All right. Well, Nicholas, what do you think? There was the thing was always 26 of them, but then you have to talk about the AMIs if you really want to get into that. So, there probably could be.
They're a variant, yeah.
But there's so many variants, so there probably could be 30 something if you want to count the.
Got it.
AMIs, probably in the high 30s.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Which
it's
there are
a
a lot.
weird one. It's kind of like the 1980 badges that you get, and some have a longer version of the coin thing, and then there's a shorter version. Those blue things you got with the show bags. I mean, do you count those as separate badges, or are they the same badge? I mean, for us collectors, they're obviously separate because they're different.
Yeah.
We need to collect both, but in terms of the design, I would say there's only 20 something, probably 28, 29 or something.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But I think like the badges you were talking about, you could really tell that writing on those, and you could tell right away from even a far away that there's more information writing. But if I just went like this, of course these are two different belt buckles, but if this was the same belt buckle and I said, well, what's the difference? You would have to have, Superman eyes just to see that AMI, So that's when you get really, really, which I am, I have a ton of them. So it's that sickness.
Do we assume that the AMI ones came first or second? Do you think they started stamping them second?
You think second?
Okay. Yeah.
I think so as well.
Because wasn't that on one of the, maybe I'm just misremembering, but one of the press kit envelopes, the AMI?
I think one of the Army kits.
Oh, the Army kits is what I meant. Yeah. So at some point they started.
Destroyer.
AMI looks like it only appeared on the 78 buckles, the ones that say 1978 at the back. I'm not sure if there's any 1977 with AMI. I'm pretty sure it's all the 1978 ones.
All 78.
Okay, so it's later. So they started officially putting their copyright on it. I see.
Nicholas, I think we just figured something out. So you were talking about the Rock and Roll Over ad, right? With the Rock and Roll Over. But I think maybe the earliest ad maybe came in the Kiss Army kit because it has the ad for Destroyer. Remember?
Yes, it does.
Destroyer.
Yeah.
So that the earliest.
I think that's what I was mentioning before was the On Tour book, the very first version. There's the two of those ones. And one's for the Destroyer tour, and the second one they changed the Paul photos for the Rock and Roll Over tour. But the Destroyer one may be in that, but we'll flash it up here.
Grab it. Is it the long? Is it the big On Tour book or the smaller?
Yes. Yeah, it's On Tour. Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, I can still hear you guys talking, so don't say anything weird.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Why is this guy on the show still?
What you don't know is it looks like the that last scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark in John's house, where it's just these where they're going to put the Ark in that giant warehouse. That's what what it looks like behind John's camera.
Yeah, there we go. So what's in that? So that's the Rock and Roll Over version of the tour book. See?
Right.
Have you got the earlier one with the other
Destroyer?
ad? There's the other two.
Same book.
It'll be the same cover. Yeah.
Oh, Judas Priest. Hold on.
Yeah. And it gets back. I go, no, just kidding. It's not really in there.
Yeah, that's not the one.
There you go.
Let's see.
Sorry.
Because the ad is different.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Let's see how many times we can get John to leave and go look for something.
Yeah. John,
right. Okay, I got it. Okay.
John, just do the rest of the show off camera. That'll be interesting.
Okay, what do we got? It's different ad.
Destroyer belt buckle.
Destroyer belt buckle.
Move it up, John. Push it up.
Yeah.
Not forward, but there you go.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
So that's the earliest appearance of a belt buckle in.
Okay.
So the Destroyer tour book. There you go.
Yeah.
So those two are the first that appear. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. Awesome.
Okay.
See, this is all great info.
Awesome. So,
and then by 1978, it was all over in terms of those style of Pacifica ones. There's nothing from 1979. So
yeah,
that's right.
For whatever reason, I don't know if the company went bust or were they. If anyone out there can tell us, are there 1979 ones of other groups? Are there You know, or,
Well, I
or did
think in
everything
19
finish in 78?
Yeah, I think in 1979 people just didn't wear belt buckles. So no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
They didn't. Nobody wore a belt buckle back.
They
in
didn't wear
79.
pants. They just walked.
Yeah, they didn't wear pants.
It was a great year.
Or an unfortunate year, whichever way you're looking at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got the brass. And Nicholas, didn't you say something earlier that there are 3 different versions of this? Did you say that?
Well, there's the brushed one there. There's the shiny one, and then there's finally the one from Double Platinum, which is silver.
Which is silver, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know because there is I'll see if I can show this because I can't really see because the picture on my screen is like that big. So you guys just tell me how to move this. But see that kind of lever kind of piece of metal sticking out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So you got that one.
Yep.
But then there's one like this.
Right.
Yes,
the
I
back,
have seen.
like
Strange.
Yeah.
And now that one's
then-
flexible, right, John? That one actually moves around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then of course you have the silver fella with that same kind of one from the first one I showed.
Right.
Mm.
So yeah.
I do know that there are counterfeit versions of that Double Platinum one.
Yeah.
More modern made ones.
Can you guys hear my chair? Or
Yes.
no? You can
A
hear
little
it.
bit, yeah.
But y'all can probably, I mean, you can hear my chair too, and that's been going on for 5 years. So,
5 years, yeah.
so don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
anytime I talk to Jason on the phone, I hear.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Jason's spine making noise.
That's my spine. Why?
Now there was
Please stand up.
also, I don't know if these were official, but there were also the brass lip guys. You know.
Oh man, I've never seen that.
What's on the back of it?
That's so cool.
Um,
I'm thinking that all these ones are not, but
I don't think they are either.
not official. There's nothing on the back. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
But these are from the era.
Sure,
That's for
absolutely.
Sure.
they're
Absolutely.
vintage belt buckles. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of those ones there.
Yeah, I'll just start pulling some others. And they all were different. They were all like a gold.
Right.
And this one.
That has the engravings on the back of the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what is weird about that one, and I'm not 100% certain that one's vintage, there's a weird kind of a logo in a circle that we've found on modern. It's like a modern company. There's something strange about that one.
And then
I
there
can't
was a
remember what
brass.
it is. Yeah.
Let me
something
look.
That
Get 'em
may
up.
not be vintage about that one.
Let's see.
It's not Trunk, but it's a weird, like, not Trunk Limited, but one of those companies. I'm not even 100% convinced that's a vintage belt buckle, that it could have been made in the 90s.
Because you see them all the time on eBay. Those.
There's something odd. There's a logo that you can find that's only a
No,
modern logo.
it says 1977 Kiss a coin management.
It does say that, but I'm just saying that it may not be.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
strange.
I don't know. I
I'm
beg
not
to
sure about that
differ.
one.
John will beg to differ.
I beg to differ on that one. I think it is. I think it is official, and I've seen ads for this.
Did you just get a? Oh, you have seen an ad for that?
Yes.
Well, no, I mean, that we would like to see.
Let's see. Hold on.
Did you just get a
Show me your
magnifying
proof.
glass up?
Yeah. Show me the ad. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Walk across my swimming pool.
Then
Yeah.
Walk across my smooth.
John, that's so weird. So I just looked up eBay sales on belt buckles.
yes.
Just to see, because of course one of my next questions was going to be, what's the rarest? What's the most expensive? So I went and did a sold listing highest price, and that seems to the one that you just held up, at least within. I don't see it. Well, it was June 3rd, but May 31st, that one sold as well. So that seems to be one of the toughest ones to find. That Ludlow one with the little sort of notch in it. Is that sort of generally speaking the grail for Kiss belt buckles?
They're very, very. These brass ones are very hard to get because there's different colors. These are different from what we were just talking about. But
can you bring that other one back up? That Ludlow one with the sort of the notch top. Yeah, that one there.
Yeah.
Is there anything on the back of that, John?
Yes, there is, but god damn, it's so hard to see. 1976 Ludlow sales.
Yeah, that's what this eBay listing says.
How much did it go for, Joe?
$450.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, there's just so many cool brass ones. I'm just showing these for the, people that are collecting. But these also are very hard to get. They look like dog shit.
I've never seen them.
They're super hard to get. This is obviously, it's like really old, but it's supposed to be more of a silver, and then there's a gold. This says 1978. Fuck, what does that say? Touch. Hold on, just bear with me. Touchstone Inc. Copyright 1978. So there's a silver and a gold, which these are silver and gold, but you can hardly tell because it's just so beat up.
Those are tarnished, huh, John? Over time,
yeah,
they're
just
lost
all
there.
tarnished.
Yeah.
Get a buffer wheel.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So there's so many different ones. Then there's so many brass ones, there's so many metal ones. Let me see what this one says. And what is cool is they're all to era. What is this? This says Tiffany Studio, New York.
What?
Tiffany Studio, New York. Not Tiffany and Company, obviously.
Okay. I was like, what?
Does that come in
It's dropped a little.
It came in a little blue box.
Yeah, you got that for Rita, right, John? In the little blue box.
Yeah.
She was thrilled.
Then this one, this is the only the metal one I am missing. This says 1976 limited edition. God, man, this stuff is so hard to see, you guys. Brassworks. Okay. And this one is very common. It's not hard to get, but I am missing the gold version of this. I think, this one's silver. I am missing the gold one. So if anybody has it.
Mount Rushmore kind of thing.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore. And those are the metal ones.
So I'm also seeing a listing for the belt buckles with the Red Room photos on it. Counterfeit, right?
Yes.
The Red Room.
There's so many ones. There's an unmasked one. There's a
first album one.
And they kind of look a lot like the Pacificas. I mean, they look like they're well done.
They do, because they have that lenticular pattern. We can even show them up here.
They're buying cheap. The people like Witchfinder General is one of the guys that does it. He buys lesser popular band Pacifica belt buckles, takes out that band stuff, puts in Kiss photos, lacquers them, sells them for $300 or $400 a piece, and gets it.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So the ones that I'm looking at are the Red Room outtakes from the original promo poster shot.
I see. Yeah.
And it has each of the guys, all four of them, and it sold on March 24th for $299 for four of them. So
that was probably just made a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is a shame.
What's also amazing to me is just almost in real time we're watching these things explode in value. It's unbelievable. Just even like a year or two ago, I remember looking at belt buckles, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Love Gun belt buckles seemed like you could maybe get them for around $100 or maybe a little bit more a couple of years ago. And now one just sold on June 8th, Peter version, $255.
Which is actually not a bad price.
Jason.
Because the really super mint nice ones go for like $400, the really nice, beautiful.
They're really nice, yeah.
Yeah, go for big, huge money, and it's.
But that wasn't the case even a couple of years ago, right? I mean,
no, not at all. You're absolutely right.
Buckles, you're right.
Yeah.
It seems like it's happening with everything.
It does.
It's really unbelievable. So
Yes.
So let's talk about these so-called Mexican belt buckles and where that comes from.
They come from Mexico, Jason.
Are they really Mexican?
They come from Europe.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you want to get into it, we can talk about what's all of these counterfeit Brazilian promo records with Vinny creatures with Vinny on the cover that are printed in Europe, So So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So are these really Mexican belt buckles? Are they licensed? Are they not? Were they just kind of five and dime stuff? Because I know my buddy Pat Lucero told me that he used to find those, and he's from, he lived in Arizona and Nevada and those kinds of states close to the Mexican border, and he said that they were all over the place in five and dime stores down there. All over the place.
I was going to say, I would come to Palm Springs, when I was very, very little, and I can see it burned in my head. And I actually had a few. I would buy these, I was 8, 9, and I would buy these belt buckles, but they were these, and I remember them just like yesterday. They were the Mexican versions, and they were everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they were a lot more in the West, like you're right. near Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's something that I've never. The guys that I grew up with that were a little older than me, like Danny Dabbs, of course, we never saw that stuff around here in the Nashville and the Tennessee area. That stuff just didn't. It wasn't on shelves anywhere. So, yeah, take your sip.
John, you forgot to drink when Jason said Danny Dabbs. What?
I know, Danny Dabbs. Oh my God!
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm about to take a road trip with him to go meet Andrew in Cincinnati to pick up an item I just bought that Andrew's delivering for me. So
that's great, man. That'll be a good time.
Yeah, it'll be a fun trip.
It'll be a good, it'll be a fun trip.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so those popped up around. Are we talking? Were those in the 70s or were they in the early 80s or what's the time period on those?
I remember I had to be 9, so like in 79, 80, I saw them.
Got it.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
a few dynasty design. There's a few kind of dynasty. I'm going to say in your language, dynasty designs of
in your language. I'm going to dumb it down for you guys. Dynasty.
Nicholas is like this.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of those stickers and that featuring the same sort of design for Mexico, don't you? It's that whole starting to get into 79 kind of era. Yeah, I love those ones. I absolutely love the Mexican belt buckles, even if they're not official.
Yeah, I agree. So start showing those, John.
Okay, there's like a little theme, of course. We'll start there's we have the jean. And what does this say on the back? Because some of them, this says Tijuana. And I'm sorry, Nicholas. What did you say?
Yes,
a little yuck.
The chicken store.
And then of course, they had each fella, the ace, and all these are the same on the back.
And they just say Tijuana.
Yes. Well, and then something else. They said, let's see. Lendo, Tijuana, Mexico.
Okay.
Right. And then let's see. Then with this blue theme, they had the and let me see, because that has and then this on the back just says Mexico right here. And then Joe's like,
very cool. Another belt buckle.
Yeah.
Love gun.
Insert the art here.
Yeah. There's going to be a stand-up of Joe like this.
Yeah. And then the elbow off the table, like, oh yeah. All right.
Punch yourself in the black one, the black version.
Oh yeah.
Of each fella, but now here's what's different.
Oh God!
Silly.
Don't tell me there's a red one, John.
So there's
the red ones.
with the red Kiss logo. Okay.
Oh, God.
So, and then Ace's makeup is red. You know.
I think we just saw John 5 realize that he's a Titanic nerd.
Nerd alert!
We have the moment on tape where John is showing the belt buckles and he's like,
Oh, that's cool.
What have I done with my life?
Yeah.
That's almost.
Yeah.
Is that? Can you compare that rock and roll over with the American one? I just want to see what the two designs next to each other. What have you got those two with that one? Are they're almost the same?
Very
aren't they?
similar. Very
Oh,
similar.
that's cool. That's really nice. I actually prefer the Mexican one.
Yeah, it's a lot more vibrant.
I like it.
It's like electric blue kind of looking. It's very cool.
Then the third thing of the black with the solo faces or the faces. Now these are with white logos, and they say Mexico really large on the back.
Getting bigger all the time.
Um,
Mexico.
So, okay, and then of course Peter.
It really is fascinating.
But now what's neat is, remember I had the rock and roll over and the love gun, and then the blue was the destroyer and love gun. And
he
then,
did it again. He just realized.
He just realized.
What am I doing with my life?
Damn, what am I doing?
John just picks it all up and puts it in the trash can.
And then the last one is
Oh wow!
Right.
Yeah.
That one has been up on eBay forever for like $800.
$800.
No,
I think it's
it's clearly not worth that.
I think it's Stuart that's selling it. So.
But it's you know what just backs it all up is when you guys go, oh wow. That makes you guys just total dorks too.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Joe's just doing it to make you
That's
feel good. We're
that's
legitimately
right.
impressed.
Yeah.
Joe's
This is what they pay me for, John. They're just paying me to be here.
Right.
There's intonation. We're like, oh wow, Joe. It's like, oh wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then you get into but then now this is pretty neat. So you get into the okay, you have a blue logo one,
right?
And they say Mexico on the back, but then you have the
We've broken him. I love it. We've broken. John 5 is broken.
The blue with the white. I'm gonna burn through this quick.
The red
And then the red version, and the fuck is wrong with me? And then we have these.
Oh.
So then we have. This is really cool. Red,
Allegedly.
black. Even the Kiss guys are like, they're fucking dork.
No, dude.
Just go
in
and play guitar.
In our defense, it was your expressions that brought this up.
My soul finally went. Dude, what are you doing?
What?
Now I feel weird to say. Now this one's really cool because it has like the first album art.
Actually, is really cool.
I like that one.
Mexico.
I'm surprised they didn't use that logo more on things.
There was a scene on the old David Letterman show. Do you remember Biff Henderson, his stage manager?
Yes, of course.
So Biff Henderson goes to a chicken farm, and there are 11 million chickens in this chicken farm, right? And it's all like this cacophonous kind of, and it's going crazy. And the guy who's taking him on the tour, Biff goes, "What's that one's name?" That's what this reminds me of. Hey John, what's the color on that one?
I'm putting these back in order as we talk, and it's just like so ridiculous. And I'm sweating, so just horrible. What is wrong? What am I doing?
So,
okay.
I know I'm going to get this forlorn call this week. John's going to be like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. I can't collect Kiss stuff anymore. What? I've got to go to the psychiatrist this week. What? I don't know what I'm doing.
That's called Kiss therapy, and I've done that to people. I've called people and I went, dude, what the fuck am I doing? You know?
I've done the same thing. I've talked about it on the show where I've looked at all of these little 1/16 of an inch spines and gone, oh my God, how much money have I spent on this stuff,
John,
and how much time
just look behind Joe's head right here. You see that little cubby that half of it is red?
Yeah.
You know, right above. That's all
see this
rock
right
and
here?
roll over.
But that's not even all the rock and roll overs that I have. There's some over here. I'm surrounded.
It's like 40 copies of rock and roll.
Yeah.
But you know what? And everybody watching this, because a lot of people watch it,
Yeah.
this is what makes us happy.
Yes.
It is. No, it's cool.
And that's what is important, you know, in life and all that stuff, is to do things that make you happy.
Yep.
And talking like this and going through stuff, it's so much fun because it takes you back as being a kid again, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about.
It's the thrill of the hunt. It's finding stuff that we haven't seen before. You know, that's super cool. And like you talked about, people commenting and saying, oh, I have that version in red on black instead of black on red. So that, because there are collectors who really get down the rabbit hole, right? And they're like, I am a massive belt buckle collector, or I am a massive vinyl collector, or I collect like this little niche of Kiss stuff. Yeah, T-shirts, whatever it is. So yeah, for those people who are into that stuff, I mean, it just shows you how massive these collections have to be to have all the stuff. I mean, it's just unbelievable how much of it's out there.
Yep.
And we're only halfway through, and we're an hour and a half in.
That's weird. Mine says 9 hours. Oh, wait, that's what it feels like.
Joe's on
we
Twilight
can
Zone time.
we can pretty much say anything at this point because our audience is now dwindled down.
We're down to 6 people watching it this far in. So.
Yeah.
You know, but people do like all the information. You know, me being one of them. Especially watching Kiss My Wax, I'm like, oh fuck, that's rad. You know, and that's what got me into collecting vinyl is watching Kiss My Wax. You know.
Yeah.
And I love it. When I was on tour, Jason, I think I told you, when I was on tour after a show, because I'd be like so tired and I'd like just want to relax and stuff, I would be in my bunk watching Kiss My Wax. And it was just, that's what I enjoyed, that's what I enjoyed.
Sebastian told me the same thing. He would watch after shows and stuff. He was like, man, I don't have anything else to do. I just sit back and watch fucking Kiss My Wax, you know?
Well, because it's stuff that you haven't seen, right? Like, there's just, you're like, oh my God, I've literally never seen that belt buckle or that. And, you know, we've all been in Kiss circles our whole lives, so we've seen a ton of stuff. And even Nicholas, I'm sure there's some belt buckles there that you maybe even haven't seen or...
Yeah, exactly.
And think about how entrenched all of us are in Kiss memorabilia and collecting. Yeah. And really, there's still stuff that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And John, I'm sure it happens to you all the time where people are like, you know, it's just like, really, there's more stuff out there that we don't know exists.
I mean, even this week, I had my friend who was going through this massive archive. There was a magazine called R&R, which is an industry magazine, and pretty much they were thrown away the week after. And he sent me all these Kiss ads because he was searching for the Queen ones, and there was some in there. I'm just going, never seen it before, never seen that before, and there mustn't be many copies of that left. It was, there aren't even right now. There was 0 copies of R&R magazine on eBay, and these are just all these ads for Flaming Youth and Beth and all this artwork I've never seen. It was only ever run for that 1 week, and they're gone. So even this week, after seeing everything that we've seen, there's still stuff every week. I go, never seen that before. That's so cool. It's great. I love it.
It's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So
it's also good to be self-aware that we're complete nerds, and we are.
Yeah. And you know what? It's okay.
It's okay.
It's perfectly okay.
Yeah. Of
It's
course.
perfectly okay.
That's why we're all on the show, right?
Like Zombie would walk by and pull the curtain in my bunk and like talk about the show, and he would look and he would be like, He would just like disappointed.
Disappointed.
You know, like if I was watching porn or something, he was just like,
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's the other way around. Rob was like, couldn't you at least be watching porn?
Porn, yeah.
yeah. It's like, come on.
Rob, you gotta hear what Jason said on this last episode.
Yeah. Do you know about this rock and roll over, you know, from Argentina and stuff? It's like
Pegasus logo. Pegasus logo.
Yeah, we're fucking
Yeah.
talking about Pegasus logo.
Yeah, right.
Which, by the way, if anybody's still watching this, if you know the story of the Pegasus logo, please tell us.
Yeah, that is
Because we don't. So,
So
All
let's circle back and talk a little bit of, are there any that you're missing, John, that you know are out there that are like extremely, extremely rare and you just haven't been able to get your hands on them yet? And where do they come from and what are they?
the only ones. There's two that I'm missing. There is a silver version of the bat, and then there
where the
is
actual black of the bat wing is silver, or the actual background is silver.
no the actual metal part.
Oh,
of
the metal
buckle
part. I got it.
is surround.
Yeah.
And then this other one, I'm just missing the darker gold brass version.
Got it.
So, but then there's still a ton of Mexican.
Well, let's do it. Let's go through some more of them. No, they're as much as we're joking around, they're cool. So let's take a look at some more of them.
Now these are cool. These aren't official, but they just they're from the 70s.
Oh, that's killer.
Yeah, and
just are there all four of them like that?
No, they just made sporadic.
Got it.
Like
Never seen that before. Wow.
Crazy.
This one you could see around there. This one has been, that one's been around. And then they had these square versions, like these very odd, like these were around. You could, these were in stores a lot.
that looks like head shop kind of things,
Yeah. And then they had blue, and then they had this really cool. What artwork is that from, you guys? Because I know that artwork is
isn't that from the Alive
different
booklet?
hue over it.
The booklet, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, there's those like very square looking ones, but then we start getting into these, which you guys have seen these before. These very
I have that
heavy,
one.
Yeah, heavy brass.
Right.
There's so many different ones.
That one's really cool. I like that.
There's just so many bugs.
Number 3.
That's right. We got him again. Wow.
But then you have the fellas again.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to speed this up.
No, you can't go too fast because people can't see it.
Yeah. And then I don't know what the colors were off on these, but they looked great. Like Gene's yellow and Peter's blue, but I don't think they went too much into detail. So those are cool. Those like kind of square, heavy, big. These are big, like Texas style buckles.
Right. So we don't know really anything about those, like is like we have Mexicans and all that stuff. It's just kind of 5 and dime head shop fair kind of things, right?
Yeah, but they were definitely 70s for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like 77, 78 type of time era. But they're really cool.
Funny. It's funny. One thing I noticed while I'm looking through all these, apart from what am I doing with my life as well, that we talk about gold and silver versions, but I've got this version which is obviously the gold KISS logo thing, and you can see one that's cracked off. Were they just all silver? So when we talk about a gold version, is it just a gold lacquer? Like they either paint a yellow lacquer over the top of the same buckle, or or it's a clear one. So it's basically a clear or yellow, and then that creates your gold effect.
There is
look, it's not.
Because if you see the back, one is gold and one is
a lot of
silver.
that comes off as well. Like I've got ones where it's kind of half gold, and the gold itself is even like say that one is a gold one, and on the back it's really starting. The gold's coming off, and it's actually everything's silver on it. I think they're almost all the same buckle that have been painted. You can see you can see the gold being painted on there versus the silver. Yeah. So then a silver and a gold version are really just a lacquer that's painted over the whole of it, unless they're actually.
If you can see, this is obvious, really obvious gold, a different gold and a different silver.
Yeah. But I wonder
and the back of the buckles is one gold and one silver, John? If you flip it over.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's just paint. It just
I don't
paints the
know.
whole thing.
I'm not going to scrape them, but I think
Take one for the team.
Yeah. He did it. He actually fell for it. Listen to him scream. Okay, so where are we now? Okay, now these are really fun. I really enjoy. These are some of my favorite buckles. These are, and you see these quite a bit. Now, this is where the real dork comes out. Okay, the real issue. Like, what? So the rainbow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I have probably about 10 different ones because all the rainbows are different.
Yeah.
Just terrible. Absolutely embarrassing.
It would be the same because they would just move the rainbow pattern along and stamp the thing over the top of it, so there would be none that's identical.
Nicholas, did you put your pods back in the charger? Okay.
Yeah.
Just embarrassing. But then I get all excited because I see this one, which is different because it has more white. And you guys, here's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell. And J5 got all excited, but then I got one with no white and no outline. So, just things like that. Really neat. Then I got even more excited when I found the round version.
Oh my God! Now that's crazy. I've never seen those.
Yeah. No. That's a lot of rainbow buckles, So, a normal person would just get one and go, cool, I got a cool rainbow buckle, but I don't know. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
John, that'd be infinite because your rainbow pattern would just be a sheet that they would put on and then stamp the black and over the top. So depending on where that sheet was, so there's probably every version is completely different. So to complete it, you have to own every version of that rainbow belt buckle
of that sheet. I love that a pressman at the belt buckle factory fell asleep and his elbow hit a button and the white stamp was removed, and 40 years later John 5 is like, yes.
Yeah. Some guy will probably buy it.
Yeah. Send it out.
Yeah.
5 will buy it.
Oh my God. So those are the rainbow ones.
Are those Mexico also?
That is a fine question. A better question there isn't. And hopefully
no stamping, huh? No nothing on the back?
There is stamping. It says CPI. If you guys can see that.
Yeah, I can see it. CPI.
Yeah. So
all of them say CPI?
Yeah. Yeah, all of them say CPI.
About anything, Jeff?
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't see if it says anything about specifically what that is. Yeah, we can do a little bit of looking. We'll see if we can.
Yeah.
If we can figure that out, we'll put something in the comments.
Okay. So what else do you have, John?
Okay, so then we get into these, which you guys have seen before. These kind of prism.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Joe, you have one of those, right?
Yes, I do.
You don't have to grab it. I thought that was one of the ones that you had.
Yeah.
So
unofficial, right?
Yeah. Yes. So it's so this is obviously the pink, and then they go into all these different colors. The yellow, kind of like a purplish blue. We lost Joe.
No, he's going to grab his. Joe has quit.
Yeah. Then we got the green. We got
I've got the silver one. I was just curious. I couldn't even remember which one I had, but yeah.
Yeah.
That one's
And the
cool. I love
red.
the red. That's great.
Yeah. Joe, is that the one you have? Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so you have 3 stars. So now, if you look,
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I just got that just because there's a planet and another
John's got
star.
Saturn, and that's
Do you have the one without the planets, John? Because Joe Tastic 1000 is about to put this up on eBay.
What planet is this?
Like
I've got a Saturn. Have you got a Jupiter? It's like in this takeout.
Oh, there's a Uranus involved.
And this is like a root beer, like kind of brownish kind of one, not so yellow. But actually, it's funny, Joe. A lot of these, now that I'm looking at these, a lot of them have that planet. And you know what's funny? I don't have the one with the 3 stars.
$455.27, John. It can be
John,
yours.
I have 2 belt buckles, of which one of the ones that you don't have. You've got.
What are the odds?
Is that awesome? That's great. That is great. That is funny. Oh, but
And who knew it only took Joe with a black marker earlier to colour in those planets?
Right.
And then here's a blue.
Cool.
But then here it is, Joe's version. I'll call it the Joe version, but in blue with red stars.
Bizarre.
But you don't have this one, John.
And it's driving me insane.
I am so psyched. I've got something in my collection that will, I'm sure, be in the John 5 permanent collection sooner rather than
That's
later.
so great. And then there's a blue, but there's no prism on this one. It's just flat blue, which is cool. So,
The best part is you're going to be thinking about my belt buckle all night long.
What can I do?
Dude, yeah. Oh, that is too funny.
That's
And
great.
then,
I am so
there's a-
happy that I stood up and grabbed that. Look at that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's
Isn't that
crazy.
neat? It's so 70s looking. It's so
It
fun. And then we have that one.
Yes.
Yeah, you talk about
I don't-
70s, man. That looks like it should be on the side of a van, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the round guy. And then this is like another square type, same kind of version of these. But it just goes on and on and on and on with belt buckles. And it's so weird because belt buckles now, I don't know anybody that wears belt buckles, really.
No.
Do you
Well,
guys?
that's why I said at the beginning of the show, what is a belt buckle?
Yeah.
People of a certain age will have no idea what that even is.
Right. They're like, it's so strange because I don't know one person. I actually, when I went out to a couple nights out on the town or something like that, I would put on the Ace belt buckle just for fun. It looked cool and stuff like that. But people were like, I was wearing a tuxedo or something. They were like, whoa, dude, check that out. Or I had my dick out or something. They were like, dude, look at your dick hanging out.
Dude, check your dick out.
They were that shocked that I had a belt buckle on.
Wait, has that got planets on it and stars? Or just stars?
Mine only has stars.
That is too funny.
That is funny. So yeah, it's a cool thing, but it's such a thing of the 70s,
Yeah, so does anything happen with belt buckles after 78 or 79 that we're aware of, officially or anything? There's nothing else that happens after that? There's no dynasty, there's no...
No.
Nothing.
Yeah, and then nothing in Australia for the big Australian merch thing either. So obviously belt buckles in general just became out of fashion everywhere.
But it's just weird. I mean, there aren't many.
Australia yet. It's like we were 50 years behind in fashion.
You guys will be getting belt buckles next week.
Yeah, belt buckles. 1985. Wow, these belt buckles. It's like,
oh god, so great.
There's nothing. Say that again. Sorry.
I said not to the reunion era onwards. Did we start getting Kiss belt buckles again? Then into the 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, there's, my buddy Charles, he's got some that I don't have, but I think that's pretty much it, and I hope people send some stuff that we're like, oh, we'll check this out. And, you kind of get the idea if they're real or not. And, but people make such amazing, copies or different versions, like the unmasked one. If that was in the 70s, that would have been a huge seller because it looks so good how they designed it. I think they made the artwork of the bubblegum cards. Someone made
that would be great.
It looked amazing, So,
do you have any of those? Have you ever? You wouldn't pick those up?
I wouldn't pick them up. I try to just, just get what I know and what is confirmed as 70s.
Yeah.
And
now,
early.
Apologies if you've already shown it up. There was a Pacifica one which we think is not official, but I'm not sure if you. I remember you had it. Was a silver one with an orange logo. Do you remember that one? Is that real or is that not real? Do we not know?
I don't think it's real, and that's why I took it out because I did research, and I don't think it's real.
Yeah, I
thought
so.
it was real, but I don't think it's real. Yeah,
sure. But it looks old. Like it looks like it's aged. Though,
yeah,
which
it
is
looks
weird.
old, but yeah, I don't think it's real. So someone probably just made it. Yeah, that's why I took it out, because if I take a picture of all the belt buckles, somebody will go, "What's that?" And I don't want to have any of the weird stuff in there.
So, John, how do you display those typically?
Like that?
Kind of like
So they're out
like,
on a table in the room, just out like that.
Yeah, just out like that. So you could walk up and look at them and see if I have something. If something's on eBay that I don't know about.
Do you do one of the US ones and the Mexican ones? Do you run a little wall?
Yes. The Pacifica ones are on top and blah blah blah. So all the brass ones are together. So because you have to run and reference. Sometimes sometimes I'll be on tour and I'll call my son and go, "Dude, get in there and tell me if I have this."
I love
He's
it.
like, "Oh God," and
it's
like
green
so
with silver, not silver with green.
Yeah. There's not a Saturn. Look for 3 stars.
That's right. It looks like this.
Yeah, what is Saturn? What do they teach you in school?
Holy crap, man. That is too funny.
Belt buckles.
Yeah, folks. Belt buckles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
as has been said on Kiss My Wax and Kiss My Collectibles for years, that is a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff, man.
It's a lot of stuff. And please send stuff that we don't know about.
Yes, post wherever you're watching this. If you have something that John or Joe or myself or Nicholas hasn't shown, please show us. It's especially if it's of the time period. We know there's a lot of counterfeit / bootleg stuff out there that's made now. Not really interested in that stuff for the most part. If it's of the period, show us.
And if you want to, if I'm ever doing a concert and you want to see me mess up, it's not tits, it's not people fighting. You hold up something I don't have in the crowd, and then it'll be like
it just catches and then the belt buckle caught the light in just the right way.
Right. I'll just stop playing. It'll be like, is he having a stroke?
Oh boy.
Oh man. All right. So that's Belt Buckles, folks.
I will just say just one more thing before you end it. I'm going to flash up right here while I'm talking some of the belt buckles that have come since the reunion era. If you collect all the eras of Kiss, that's fine too. Here's just a little smattering of some of the ones that we like out of that aren't vintage, but made modernly. So there's them now. There you go.
Very good. Yeah, because there's a shit ton of them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch. So, okay. Again, thanks for watching the show. Comment down and post some belt buckle photos. We'd love to see them. And like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. Thank you, John, for hanging out with us again.
Yeah, that's an amazing collection as always. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I really think the show's great, and I look forward to it all the time.
Yeah, we love you. We love it when it's on, man. And all, like I've said, certainly appreciate your support. So,
thank you.
All right, is that it, guys?
Yep.
I think that's it.
All right, we'll see you on the next one.
Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not. This is Kiss My Collectibles podcast. What you mean?
It was genuine as well when I started laughing, going,
dude,
well, this one's red, and then the top has white. I was like,
it was like an epiphany, man. It was incredible.
I literally saw the light bulb go, bing!
Yeah, I was like, I want to give myself a wedgie.
What happens when you get the one that has to go in the middle? Do you then have to move everything?
Yeah.
Joe, that's hilarious you said that. So I did get one of those, and I'm like, I was up, you guys, because my wife's like, hang out with me, and then she'll fall asleep. And then I was so crazy. I was like, I have to go organize these. I was up so late. I was like, trying to figure out how to organize them because it threw everything off.
Right.
But then if you look at it, when I do a sweep of it, I don't have any more room. So if I
was just going to say, what happens if you get 129 and it doesn't fit on the card table anymore?
I got to get a bigger table. I think we're going to need a bigger boat.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Maybe I can take you guys with me. Hold on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So this is pretty. This is pretty interesting.
You didn't have anything else there.
This is pretty interesting. So, okay, so you guys see that large subway poster?
Yep.
This is pretty cool. So, it just opens.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sweet.
It's like a secret door, type of thing.
That's your panic room. It's your Kiss panic room. When you have that moment of having too many belt buckles, you go into the Kiss panic room.
And then I started, putting the promo, the promo posters up.
Right.
Here's the albums, like the first issues, getting there. Israel and Australia and Italy, Netherlands. Anyways,
that's nice, John.
Yeah, it's cool.
So the songbooks and the magazines, and but then I was trying to figure out how do I display the mirrors.
Oh, look at all those mirrors.
And I just did it like albums.
Mm-hmm.
So you can thumb through them to see what you have and what you don't have. And there's
because you said you worried about earthquakes, weren't you?
Yes.
If you have an earthquake and it comes down off the wall, it will shatter them all.
So,
yeah. That's a
and
good
then
idea.
what I did, and with the posters, I just they're kind of like records.
Nice.
You just, do it like that, and over time I could just get more, whatchamacallits.
More bins,
but then I was like, what do I do with the big mirrors? And I'm like, what do I fucking do? So I put them underneath the pinball machines. Can you see that?
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, and so, so I can still see them, but it will be protected if there's an earthquake. But yeah, that's the only mirror I'm missing. And one guy had one. It was broken. You can't buy a broken mirror. You just can't buy a fractured mirror. Terrible.
Ba-doom.
Just terrible.